Today we're going to talk about client self-determination versus professional expertise. This is the fourth module in the ethics series. I hope that it has been extremely helpful for you. I hope you've gained a lot of knowledge. And if there's something that you need more of or elaboration, like I shared, hit me up in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to help you. The objective of this specific training is to explain how to balance respecting your client's autonomy with offering professional guidance and intervention. So a lot of time as social workers, we're faced with situations where a client is making their decision based on the information they have and they want to move forward with something. And we might feel like it's not in the client's best interest. However, we are there to provide guidance and we have to know when to intervene and we have to respect the client's autonomy to make a decision, which we refer to as self-determination. What do we do when a client makes a decision that might harm them? Do you step in or do you respect their right to make their own choices? Today, we're going to explore this delicate balance between self-determination and professional expertise. One of the fundamental principles of social work is respecting our clients' ability to make their own choices. But what happens when their choices could cause harm? How do we navigate this ethical tightrope? On today's video, we'll cover the principle of self-determination, its limits, and how to balance it with your professional guidance. What is self-determination? Self-determination is the idea that clients have the right to make decisions about their own lives. It's also about empowering our clients so they can take control and make choices that reflect their values and their desires. Now, in social work, it's essential to foster independence and respect our clients' autonomy. But I'll be honest, that's not an always easy thing to do. So when self-determination is limited, this is what we're going to discuss. There are times when a client's decisions might lead to serious harm, either to themselves or either to the people around them. This is where the limits of self-determination come in. Say, for instance, you have a client and they're refusing treatment and there's a risk of harm to their health and their safety. Social workers may need to intervene. Other examples include situations involving mental incapacity, a danger to others, or vulnerable populations like children. Even though children, we want them to experience or feel like they can be autonomous when making decisions, they still are not able to do things without an adult's guidance. So you might have to step in and intervene a lot more because that is a vulnerable population that would need more guidance. Balancing autonomy and expertise. So now we're going to review, when do we actually step in as a social worker? It's not always easy to know when to step in and offer guidance or intervention. The best approach is to use an ethical decision-making framework. So you weigh the client's right to choose against the potential harm. The client's right to choose against the potential harm. That is the balance. You're going to have to figure out and weigh which one is the direction you need to head towards based on the information you have and your expertise as a social worker. In some cases, your role might be to educate the client on the consequences of their choices, providing them with information they need to make an informed decision without taking away their autonomy. And in a lot of cases, guys, especially for those of you who work with people directly, like doing outpatient or some type of counseling services, a lot of times we are caught in a space where we don't want to tell our clients exactly what to do. But if we list out all the consequences or all the things that can happen if they make the decision they're heading towards, they're able to make an educated decision on how they need to proceed. So you're still giving them autonomy, but you're also educating them on what are the consequences of their actions so then they can make a decision on which way they would like to go. So some practical steps are here. This is a quick framework I want you guys to remember and recall when it's time for you to take the exam and you're trying to decide how to answer a question. First, you want to assess the risk of harm. Then you want to discuss the client's reasoning and concerns. Like, why are they reluctant to do this and move in this direction? Are they aware of how much harm this can cause them? And then you want to provide the information to help them make an informed choice. So if you're, say, for instance, we're working with a client and they're in an abusive relationship and they're trying to decide, the partner has shared that they're going to do better, they're in treatment, they're getting the help they need. And, this is an ongoing cycle. They've been here before. So you're trying to help the client assess the risk. So you might just listen to their concerns, why they're choosing to stay or why they're choosing to leave, and then kind of help them make an informed decision by giving them all the options. Like, what will happen if this takes place? What will happen if this takes place? What has happened in the past? What do you see things looking like in the future? Like, really help them decide and decipher which way to go. That will help them. And then they're also using their autonomy when they're making this decision. Now, if necessary, and you don't know the answer, consult your supervisor. That's right. Ask your supervisor, or you could always go to the ethics board for guidance. And the best way to do that is pull up the code of ethics and read it in its entirety and figure out which way to go. Sometimes it can still be confusing, so it's really good to have a professional, whether it's your clinical supervisor or your supervisor at your place of employment, to make a decision on how to move forward when you're helping a client. So this is the scenario I want to leave you guys with to think about. Let's say a client with a severe health condition refused to further treatment because of personal beliefs. How would you handle this? Now, remember, your ultimate goal is to be respectful of their choice while ensuring them that they understand and know the full consequences or the risk of their actions. So you're doing both. You're educating them and respecting their choice, but you're also giving them a way to understand, like, what are the risks based on their choices. In our final video, we're going to bring this all together by exploring some ethical dilemmas in practice and how to navigate them with confidence. So I want you to stick around in this series. Again, this is video 4. So make sure that you've watched 1, 2, and 3 in order, so that way you can see how much knowledge you've gained on the code of ethics. Because remember, when I say study, ethics comes first. It is a huge part of the exam that a lot of times is neglected, and it will come to bite you in the butt. So make sure you study it so you can ace it on the day that you take your exam. Be blessed until the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and definitely share this video with somebody. It's a social worker out there that's just trying to figure out how to handle ethics and do it in a way that they can comprehend and get some information so they can use it on the exam. This is the way to do it. Talk to you soon.